Hi, my name is Tina, I'm head of design of Victoria Designs, and in this video I'm going to show you completely from scratch how to make the journal, the envelope book and the moving card with the contents of the Vintage Birds Mega Project Pack. If you like to discover this Mega Project Pack in our shop, the link is below. And if you would like to see the whole contents of this pack before you buy it, like which printables are in there, there's a link for that as well. And now let's start crafting. Okay, the first thing I'm going to make is the regular journal. And this journal can be made in 3 sizes. So we have all the covers and the templates and the journal pages in the kit for the 3 sizes. And the sizes are 8 3/4 inch high, 7 1/4 inch high and 5 high. It's a really cute small one. I'm going to make the 7 1/4 inch high journal, and that size will be on the pages that you need. And if you're looking for the right files, you can look everything up in the table of contents. So I'm going to make a 7 1/4 inch journal, so I chose journal covers from here, inside covers from here, and then I know that I have to have these journal pages that also are for the 7 1/4 inch journal, etc. So for the printables you need 2 outside covers. I chose to have the same one. You can definitely choose 2 different ones. And then I also have 2 inside covers. Choose these ones. And you also need a spine to sew or staple your... I'm going to show everything in this whole tutorial with staples. Just make sure you print everything at 100%. And yeah, there's something else on the page too, but that is for the other journal that I'm going to make, the envelope book actually, and I just printed it on the same page to not waste paper. And the other thing that you need is journal pages. So I have my 24 journal pages right here, and I printed them all on 80 grams paper, the light kind, because I'm using a lot of pages here. And on the back side, I printed the journal pages again, but in a different order, just choose the order that you like, but I printed them 102%. That means it's 2% larger than the front. And when I cut out the front, you won't have a white edge here because printers usually shift a little bit. But you can definitely choose to just keep this white on the back side. Oh yeah, and these are all print on 160 grams paper, so cardstock, so to make it extra sturdy. This one is a sturdy paper too. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut everything out. Yes. So I cut out everything that needed to be cut out, and apart from the outside covers, I'm gonna put away the rest for a while. I'm gonna start with these. And for a sturdy cover, we need some chipboard. And this chipboard is 1 millimeter thick. That's about a 1/16 of an inch, maybe a bit more. That's all okay. And these are 7 1/4 high by 5, these both. And these 2 pieces are also 7 1/4 inch high, so the same height, but this piece is an inch wide and this piece is 7/8 of an inch wide. Now this 7/8 of an inch wide piece could also be a lighter cardboard, like for example a cereal box. That's definitely true, but I had a lot of these lying around, so I'm just going to use this. All the measurements in inches and in centimeters for all the 3 sizes of journals you can download in the description below. And if you purchase this Mega Project Pack, you definitely get the measurements as well. I'm gonna put these 2 apart for a while, and now I'm going to cover these covers, and I'm going to do that like I always do that, and that is I'm going to use double-sided tape on the edge because I like a great finish, and some glue in the center. You can definitely use only glue, you can use white double-sided tape, whatever you have laying around, as long as it sticks. I am mostly using 3/8 of an inch tape. That is about 9 millimeter, almost a centimeter actually. But that doesn't matter for this. The good thing is you can get double-sided tape in all sizes. But this is the one that I use mostly. It's what you're used to probably. So let's make a really good bond here. We definitely want this to stick, okay? Then remove all the backings. There. Just when you lift up not properly, just go over it again and just try to lift up again. It just means it didn't stick completely. There. Some glue in the center. I'm going to use a strong glue stick. You can definitely use tacky glue or another wet glue, or just tape all over if you have like a really white tape. And then place this in the center of your cover. There. And you see on all the corners I have a bit left. Do this as straight as possible, by the way. And I have actually quite a bit left with these corners. If someone likes to use like 2mm chipboard that is a lot thicker, you can still cover the corners. But since I'm only using 1mm chipboard, I'm going to cut a bit more off and just leave 1mm in the corner left to just cover the corners. There. And then pre-fold these tabs. That makes it easier for later. Open up again and then use glue or double-sided tape to attach these tabs. And I didn't precisely glue this in the center, and now my tape is a little bit too wide, but I'm going to show you how I fixed that. There. So first I'm going to make sure this sticks. Okay. And then I'm going to start with the long sides. Let me remove this backing first. Oh, if I can find it. Here. And then really pull the paper so you don't have any air bubbles or something. Yeah. Okay. If you have a bone folder, you can rub the edges as well for a really nice straight finish. And then I'm going to do the other long side first. There. So if you remember, this was a bit narrower, so my tape is too wide. Just pull the tape back over. There. And it's gone. And just glue. And then I'm gonna do the top and the bottom same way. There, and we have our first cover, and I'm going to do exactly the same with the other one. Okay, my two covers are ready, and I'm first going to add some ribbons on the edges, totally optional. And I'm going to cut 2 pieces of this lilac ribbon, 2 pieces of 12-inch or 30 centimeter, should be enough. There we go. One more. And I'm going to attach these in the center of the covers. So make sure you know what the back cover and the front cover is going to be. This is going to be the back, this is the front. And I'm gonna attach about 1.5 inches, yeah, about 3-4 centimeters of tape here. And I'm gonna make sure the shiny side will be out. Then I'm going to find the center first. Here's the center. As well. Add a piece of tape. Just make sure the tape will not cover the 1/8 inch 3mm edge here, because this will be showing and we don't want it to be sticky. Another one on this side. Make sure it sticks again. And simple. can definitely do this with glue as well. There. And I'm also going to add a label holder, and you can definitely glue it on if you have special glue later, but I am just going to use the brad, so I'm going to mark when I want to pierce my journal. First going to make my marks, and then I can still check because wrong marks will be hidden anyway. Okay, let me check. That's actually really good. And then I'm gonna quickly poke some holes here. Yeah, I should definitely buy a bigger awl because this is a cute one, yeah. But I want a big one as well. There, I think it's handier, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you have experience with a larger awl than this one. Okay, then I'm going to touch this already. There, and I'm gonna add a few small pieces of tape on top just to protect the paper that will come on. Then there's a small protective layer in between that I will take the backings of a bit later. And now it's time to turn these two into an actual book with a spine. So I'm going to take the largest, so the widest part of these two, very important. Measure if you must, and this is going to be the spine, and to attach it I'm going to use my packing tape. I use it a lot. It's a paper packing tape. You can definitely use a shiny one, but if you would like to draw on this or paint on this, I recommend a paper one. But I'm just going to leave it like this. They have tapes now in the most fabulous colors, and I'm going to take a piece of tape that is a bit more than twice the height. A bit more is always better. Okay, and I'm going to lay it down sticky side up. Don't stick yourself to it. And then I'm going to put this in the center as straight as possible and make sure you have the same width left over on both sides. It doesn't matter how high you put it, about in the center, but in width-wise, it should be really straight. Okay, I'm already going not straight. Make marks if you're not sure. Quite happy. Okay. And then it's a really good idea, and by that I mean do this, to leave a gap between this spine and the cardboard. So I'm going to take another 1mm piece of cardboard. This. I'm just going to line it up next to the spine. And then I'm going to slide this in place as close to that little piece as possible. Line up the top and the bottom. When you're sure, voila. There. You have a perfectly straight gap. Do the same on the other side. My cardboard is a bit crooked already, so I have to see that I don't leave any gaps here. Okay, that's good. Okay, happy with that. Good. And now I'm going to cut this off a little bit nicer. And I'm going to stretch this and carefully put it in place. Go in these gaps with your bone folder. And make sure everything sticks. My tape is a little bit see-through. I don't mind, but you have to keep that in mind, that it's possible that it is see-through. Okay, I'm gonna cut off the excess. It's going to overlap just a little, but it will hardly show. Okay, now you see I have been a little bit crooked, but we won't see that later on. Yes. So make sure it sticks. There. And when this all sticks, turn around and make sure this sticks as well. Go in these gaps again, and then you have a very nice pliable cover that can open very well. And then I'm gonna take my inner covers, inside covers. See, I'm gonna apply them like this, but before I'm going to apply it, I'm going to ink the edges. And I have two colors here. I still have to decide which one. So I have the, let me turn these around. So the antique linen and vintage photo. These are the ones I usually use. I'm going to try now first which one I like best. Antique linen is pretty light. Yeah, I think it's going to be too light for this. Sometimes it's just right, you know. Let me get some. Oh yeah, this is going to be the one. So let me put this one away. Vintage photo it is. I mean, or something brownish. You also have like the walnut stain I like as well. It's a different shade of brown. But I like these to stand out a little bit. That's why I'm using a darker one. I like contrast, you know. It's like having a house, and I think the windows should contrast with the rest of the house. That's my opinion. I'm gonna blend a little bit in the corners to make it more agey. I can do that as well. This, okay, the other one. The beauty of ink is you can layer it top on top on top until you have like this really cool effect. I encourage you all to start experimenting with ink. Okay, there. Actually, I like these corners a lot better. I'm gonna add a little bit here. See, I'm not going to take new ink. There's a lot on here already, although you wouldn't say that. But then you can build soft layers. This is actually a lot more interesting than just one solid color. It gives a little bit more depth. Maybe I'm going too far in this, I don't know. Okay, enough. So now I am going to apply some tape on the edges and glue in the center and put these in. Yep. Oh yeah, before I'm gonna use my glue, because my glue dries really fast, I'm gonna remove these backings quickly. Yep. Make sure your journal is straight. I mean the right side up. Then I'm gonna add my glue. Again, use all glue or all tape. Your choice. Oops, don't do that. Don't wrinkle your beautiful paper. Oh my god, so much work, and then you just see if I can get these wrinkles out. Okay, and then make sure you have an 1/8 of an inch, about 3 millimeters all around. So at the top, the side, and the bottom. Perfect. Can glue it all down. Yes. Where you have the brads, it will be a little bit more bulky, but that's normal. That's in, and I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. There, I added the other cover as well, and actually the cover is ready. I'm going to put this away for a while. And now we're going to concentrate on the inside. So, as you know, I cut out this inner spine thingy. And this is going to be the inner spine. So this is the same height as the cover, and it is only 7/8 of an inch wide. And we're going to glue this thing in here. And I printed this on sturdy cardstock craft paper, but you can definitely, if you don't want to use that, you can definitely also wrap this in packing paper and measure out where the holes should be. This is a bit more pre-arranged for you. And now first I'm going to punch these 6 holes slightly. Again, if you want to sew, there are other templates for that. But this is to staple. So I'm gonna lightly punch these because when I glue this on, you won't see it anymore. I'm going to use the printed side for the inside, so you won't see the markings later on anymore. And now I'm going to apply double-sided tape all over the cardboard. You can definitely use wider tape, but I'm just going to use my regular tape. I have a little bit of a gap in between, but I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to first add tape to the edges, and then when I've removed both backings, I'm going to apply another one on top. Or put some glue in the center, and you can definitely use glue instead of tape here as well. It's just a preference. Remove this one as well and glue this on the printed side nicely into the square or in the markings like this. And now I'm going to do exactly the same as I did with the cover pieces earlier on. I'm going to pre-fold these tabs, add double-sided tape or glue to the tabs and fold these over as well. I'm actually wrapping this inner cover. Inner cover, what am I saying? Inner spine. I'm gonna go use glue for that because that's just weird to use tape there. So, well, I'm going to start with these actually. Okay. Some glue here. The downside of glue is you have to hold it for a while. Same here. Tape just sticks instantly, you know, but that's it. Okay, I'm gonna hold these sides and I'm going to fold these over. Yeah, my corners were a bit big, but just use your bone folder and press them to the back. There. Tape didn't have a corner, so I'm gonna add a little bit more glue here. So it won't cover the whole piece, but that's okay because we will never see this again when once we've glued this in place later. Okay, there. And now I can still see where I punched the holes, and now I'm gonna punch completely through the whole cardboard thingy. Remember, this cardboard piece could be lighter cardboard. It doesn't have to be the 1 millimeter thick one that you've used. And if you're using thicker cardboard, chipboard, I mean, for example, 2 millimeter, don't use that. That's way too much. Use larger. 1 millimeter is the max. And now I'm going to take a pencil, a light one, and I'm going to connect these dots lightly. It's to determine our second hole for each staple. I'm going to erase this later, but this is, see, I'm already not doing my best here. Okay, this is to prevent that your staples are going to be crooked. This way you can make them really, really straight. So I have some staples here. And I didn't add the second hole on my template because all staples are different. No, they're not all different, but there are different sizes. So I'm gonna just remove one for now. And I'm going to use this as a template where the second hole should be. And I should definitely use my mats under here. So I'm just going to check where the second hole should be. And I'm going to do that to the inside, you see? And this I'm going to also do the second mark on the inside, to the inside. And on the line, obviously, there. And now I'm going to erase the pencil line. You won't see much of it, but I'd rather have that you don't see anything of it. By the way, you can definitely use other colors for this. I just used some craft paper. You can definitely use color paper or even one of the papers from the paper pack, or yeah, whatever you want. Let's put this aside for a while. And now I'm going to concentrate on my journal pages. So I have cut out my 24 journal pages, and they all have two sides. Really check that they're all the right side up, because it happens, and then suddenly a few were the wrong way up. It's a bit of a shame. And I'm gonna make, because it's 24, I'm gonna make 3 piles of 8 sheets. And you can definitely add some other papers as well, scrap papers or coffee dyed papers or whatever chunk papers that you can find. You can mix and match them. I'm just using all of these. Put these two away for a while. I'm gonna show you with this one. So fold this pile in half. Make a sharp fold here. And then I have my fold, and I'm going to use this as a template for where I'm going to punch my holes. Now this is a little bit larger than the paper, so there should be about 3 millimeters on each side. Just center it with your eyes, or an 1/8 of an inch, that's the same. And when you're sure, you can punch the holes on the fold. Okay, this one isn't perfect, but it's going to be okay. And do that with all 3 signatures. Now, if you don't like these more ugly holes here, that's the nature of using an awl, you can just flip this one around, fold it in the other direction, and now you don't see the ugly holes. Beautiful holes on this side, beautiful holes on this side. Just a tip. Now, the next step is completely optional. You see, due to the nature of folding a stack of paper in half, you will see that not all pages are equally long anymore. And if you would like to make them completely straight, you can do that now. Now is the time to do that. Don't do that later. And just take a ruler. I'm gonna change this a bit. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna change the angle a little bit. Line up the ruler with the top page. Use a metal ruler, by the way, and then use a heavy-duty craft knife. That's why I'm not sliding towards myself, but to the outside. And just make sure the blade's sharp, very important. And just don't push super hard, but just slide across the paper next to the ruler. I'm getting a bit guided off, but that's okay. And just keep sliding through the papers and just scraping away the papers. And it's very important to keep firm pressure on the ruler. It's good that the ruler has some anti-slippery thingy underneath. I don't know what it's called in English. So firm pressure on the ruler, soft pressure on the knife. And when it's all gone, all your pages are nice and flush here. But this is completely optional, you really don't have to do that. And if you have a really heavy duty guillotine trimmer, you can just whack it on there. It gets everything off flush with one go. Now let me show you how to attach this signature to this spine. and it's really easy. If you don't like to sew, this is the way to go for sure. Okay, so take a staple, inside out, through the holes, inside out, because you're going to see this piece, but you're never going to see this side again. So, can be a bit fiddly in the beginning, so completely true. And then decide where you want this signature to be. Do you want it to be the first, the second, or the third? I'm going to start with the third. Like this. Lay it down flat and take something metally to close these legs, these prongs. There you go. And do that with the other side as well. Through the paper and then through the cardboard. It's a lot quicker than sewing, but it is a little bit fiddly. There. And then take your bone folder and make sure that the pages can move really well both ways. So, there. That's one signature added, and do exactly the same with this pile and this pile. So I have my signatures ready and stapled to this back, and I have my cover ready. And all I have to do now is to glue this in here very sturdily. And for that, I am going to add double-sided tape all over the back here and add some more tacky glue on top. You can definitely use fabric tack as well. Okay, I'm just going to make sure that these staples are really flattened here. So I will have a maximum bond. Okay, tape all over. Use tape that actually sticks. There's double-sided tape out there that doesn't stick very well. This is a brand from a local shop here. It's not really an expensive brand, but it sticks really well, so I'm happy with that. The other kind that I really like is score tape. That's a heavy one as well. Okay, so going to make sure these stick, and yes, go in these staples. And the middle part I will do after I remove these backings. So now I can add another one on top. Make sure the sticky part sticks. Go. And now I will add some tacky glue on top. Yeah, for a reason I created like a really small hole in this bottle. But so I could actually spread it out more evenly, but yeah, I really have to squeeze with both hands now to get it out. That's okay. I'm thankful for this glue. I like it very much. I don't mind a bit of extra squeezing going on here. Okay, there. I should actually buy a glue spreader. Okay, and then make sure it's in the center. So the height is exactly the same. So line it up, top and bottom, and on each side there will be about a 1/16 of an inch left. Yeah. And then, yeah, hold it for a while. Give the glue a chance to bond. There. When you open it in the center, you can actually put a weight on it. And if you're a regular viewer, you guys know that Lord of the Rings is my go-to weight. Thank you, Tolkien. And now completely let this dry before using it. Very important. And this is a journal when it's finished. Look how beautiful. There we go. And you can really flatten these pages to write or draw in these as well. So most of the time the pages go really flat. Close it like this. There. So for the envelope book, I'm going to show you how to make the smallest one, so the 5-inch high one, but you can also make them as 725 or 875. I'm going to give some more remarks after this part of the tutorial about how to do that. I already made the cover because that is exactly the same as I did with the journal. But I didn't put in yet the inner spines. And yes, I do have to learn to be more straight. So instead of journal pages, I'm going to put some envelopes in here. And I'm going to use envelopes from this kit. And I printed the envelopes also for the 5-inch cover. And there are 6 envelopes. Yes, 6, not 5, 6. And you also need the tabs spine for this. And I printed the tabs spine for the 5-inch journal cover. And as you know, I used the same paper. I printed it on the other side of the staple spine that I used for the previous journal. And the first task is to cut all these 6 envelopes out and this piece as well. Oh yes, I forgot to mention, I printed some papers on the back of these envelopes. You can choose which ones you like to use, just so the inside of the envelope wouldn't be white, but that's purely optional. So I cut out all 6 envelopes and this piece is going to be the hinges. And I already inked the outside edges of the envelope just to give them a bit more definition. I'm gonna start with the hinge. All these lines need to be folded very precisely, and to do that we're going to score these first. I'm going to use my scoreboard. These lines are actually much easier to use if you don't have a scoring board like this. So then you can just line up your ruler and score these lines. But if you look at the measurements, you see they don't line up completely. It has to do with printers and tools, and they all shift a little bit in sizes. Well, it doesn't matter. If you have a scoreboard and you want to make it easier on yourself, just cut a piece of cardstock that is the same size. And then just score at 1/2 inch, quarter, 1/4, 1/4, 1/8, 1/4, etc., etc. And then you have 1/2 inch left. That might be easier than to just follow these lines. I'm going to follow these lines. I'm going to start in the center because I have a black line here. It's a bit easier to really have it right. It's very important that you really are very precise here. Okay, and now I'm going to add some tape. If you take a closer look, you will see that there are always 2 pieces that are 1/4 inch wide next to each other. And we're going to put a piece of tape on one of those 2, and there will be 6 in total. The tape is also 1/4 inch wide, or 5 to 6 millimeters. It's about that. So I'm gonna put the tape neatly between the lines. One of these. Nothing on the second one, and then there are 2 new ones. So on the first one here, on the first of the next pair, so we have our 6 pieces here. Now I'm going to turn this piece around and I'm going to fold these tabs. And I'm going to make mountain folds and valley folds. And mountain fold is that the fold will create a mountain and the valley fold creates a valley. And we're going to interchange these. So we have first a valley fold. This will help you create really nice crisp lines. So see, it's a valley. And then we have a mountain fold. So fold the other side, the other way. See, it creates a mountain. And then 2 valleys. And then it's going to be repeated all the time. Keep checking if your folds match your lines. Very important. Because otherwise your accordion will get like this. Or it's not really an accordion, this one, but you know what I mean. Okay, so we did a valley to start, and then it's always the same. Mountain, valley, valley, mountain, valley, valley, mountain, valley, valley, mountain, valley, valley, until it's all done. And so I already did the mountain and the valley, so I need to do one more valley. There's a rhythm in this. Okay, I did this, and then it's time to make another mountain. Always one mountain, two valleys. Why did I put on this tape? Well, it's easier to put it out on up front, I think, than doing that afterwards. That's just me, and I hope this will help to make it easier for you as well. If not, please let me know in the comments. Okay, this fold isn't very sharp, so I'm going to take a look that it's going the right way. Very important. When I make my folds, I have the tendency not to press very hard, because otherwise it's very, very possible that you rip the paper while scoring. So sometimes my folds aren't the best, and then it's very, very important to really see that the folds go the right way, and I'm happy with that. Okay. So I'm done, and now we're going to close these tabs. We're going to glue each part that has tape to the 1/4 inch part next to it that doesn't have tape. I'm going to start on this side. Remove the backings one by one, please. So, removed, and now I'm gonna close this. Next one. Remove and tape to each other. And keep doing that. It'll curl up like this, but that's okay. There, make sure all the folds are crisp. Turn around, fold them to one side, fold them all carefully to the other side, so that they have great movement. Okay, so now we have 6 hinges to add our 6 envelopes. And now it is time to put this inside the cover. And for that I'm going to apply double-sided tape all over the back. If you have white tape, maybe you can do it in one go. I'm just going to use this tape. Yeah, sometimes wider tape's a bit more easy. So I will have to make several strips here, but it's what I have. And it's not that much. There, oh, I'm going crooked, but on the back, that doesn't matter. I'm going to do the outside first, because I want this in between, but first I have to remove the other ones. Really make sure the sticky part sticks. I'm going to remove these backings already. And add this one on top. And remove all the rest. It's sticky. Good. That's the whole point. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to also apply some of the tacky glue in the center here. See, yeah, this is a little shorter, so don't put glue on the outer 1/8 inch pieces. So leave 3mm on top and 3 at the bottom. And then you'll be okay. Check how far. Yeah, just going to do a little bit here as well. Too much. Now anyway, if you use too much, actually, we will cover that anyway with the inner covers, so it doesn't matter. Can be a bit more. Okay, that's enough for me. Make sure the hinges are really centered, the hinge part I mean, and leave 3mm or 1/8 of an inch on the top and the bottom. Okay, that's better. Yeah, when you're happy. And now we have to see that this will bend, because it doesn't bend yet. I'm going to go with my bone folder in that gap of the cover and carefully bend it. I'll do it like this because the light is on that side. See, and bend it, work with it. And do the same on the other side. Here, glue is coming out. Yeah, I usually use these backings or a piece of paper to do that. And just turn around again, just work it so it'll close. And just keep flattening it. Okay. And when I have worked with these covers a little bit, I'm not going to start closing it up, etc., etc. It still has to sit. And I'm going to open this up and use another heavy book on top. So, and in the meantime, I'm going to make the envelopes. So I have my 6 envelopes here. I'm going to show with one how to prepare it. It's really easy, I promise. And by the way, you can definitely add some more embellishments from the embellishment pages over these envelopes as well. First, we need to score from corner to corner to corner to corner and back. So 4 score lines. I'm going to use the scoreboard again. So, and now find a line and score like this. And the last one. There. And then fold everything inward. Like this. So this is going to be the front and this is going to be the back of your envelope. And if you like, I already inked the outside edges, but now I have my folds. You can definitely ink your folds as well. This. That's up to you. And the only other thing we need to do is close it. So fold in the side pieces and then the bottom tabs. And then to see where I need to put some glue, I'm going to make some markings right under this tab. See, and then I know I have to keep my glue in there. I'm gonna do that with this one as well. And then to here, yes. You can use wet glue. I'm just going to use this glue stick. Make sure you don't glue all over the inside of the envelope because you're just going to glue it closed. Actually, I'm going to put a piece of scrap paper underneath. There. The other side as well. And then you can just close the envelope like this. And then do that with all the other envelopes. So I created all 6 envelopes like this. And first I'm going to glue in the inside covers. I already cut them and pre-inked them, and I'm just going to add them in. Same way as I did in the journal, just use only glue or a border of tape and glue or all tape. It's all good, as long as it sticks. Okay, make sure all parts are facing the same way and just leave a 1/4 of an inch, what am I saying? 1/8 of an inch 3mm border all around. Like this. Of course, if you want to attach a label holder first, do that first. Unless you glue it instead of using brads. And the same with the back. There. And now we just need to add these envelopes in here. And to do that, I'm going to put a 1/4 of an inch tape on the front of each of these 6 tabs. And then I can glue the envelopes on that. You can put it on the back as well, then you will see the tab and maybe you can decorate it. That will be nice too. You can choose. By the way, these envelopes, they are very pretty, but you can definitely add some of the many embellishments from the many embellishment sheets in this pack as well. I'm going to carefully make sure this sticks. And now you can choose whether you will put your envelope in like this with the opening to the front, or like this with the opening to the back. And you can even put it in like this if you think that would be handy. It's all possible, you know. So I'm just going to put it in like this so you can see the beautiful bird first. And then on the back you can open it and take out a letter or note that's in there. Or money. Ooh. Okay, removing this and then carefully there we go. That's one done. And do this with all 6 envelopes on all 6 tabs. Yes, what I did wrong is I put this envelope a bit too low, so it's not going to open very well. It's not a problem here, but just a tip. Don't glue it too low, rather too high than too low. There, and now I have an envelope book with 6 envelopes and I can put anything flat in there that's small enough to put in here. For example, if you want to give a friend or a family member some letters, this is a beautiful way to do it. You can just write several letters and even add a label on which day they should open it. There are a lot of really nice possibilities here. And in this pack we also have some writing paper. So yeah, already wasn't very careful with this one, but it's okay. The writing paper is here. And it says it fits the envelopes for the 5" and the 7¼ envelope books. And on the back I printed the same design but a little bit larger. And now I just have to cut this out. And then write your beautiful letter, and then you can just fold it in force and put it in the envelope. There. And this way you can fill the whole book with cards, envelopes, anything flat and small. And come on, this would be an amazing gift for someone. Look at that. Now, this works with all 3 sizes of covers. So this was a 5 one, but it definitely works for the 7/25" large journal and also for the 8¾ large journal. But let me show you the hinges. So these are the tabs for the largest journal. But I couldn't make any envelopes for that one because they are so large it's impossible to print them on a regular household printer. But if you can source some envelopes that are large enough, you can definitely use this as for your hinges, and just don't look at the middle line here, just use it as one. You can cut these two out apart, glue one of these hinges on top, one a bit lower, and add 12 envelopes, 6 here, 6 there, and glue them in horizontally and not vertically. There. And if your journal is a little bit small, yeah, this is wrong. This has already been corrected on your pages. Don't worry about that. This is for the 725-inch journal. These are meant to be put in the same way as I did these, so like this. And the only difference is that obviously it didn't fit on one page. This is the bottom flap, so you just cut this out. This is an extra card that you can put in the envelope, by the way. I just wanted to do something with that space on the paper, but just cut this out, and then from here to here, this is a tab, put some glue and glue this part on top, and then you have a whole envelope. And now I'm going to make a moving card. There are several designs for this moving card in the pack as well, by the way. If you want to see more printables from this pack, there is a show video that shows you exactly what sheets are in this pack. So definitely go take a look there to see what the possibilities are. So, but I chose this A part, so each card has an A and a B, but you can definitely switch them up. I chose this one and this one, and there are also 8 box envelopes that will fit this card because the card is a bit thicker, and I chose this one. So what now needs to be done is cut all these out. Oh yeah, by the way, print these on heavy paper. I'm not talking 300 grams, that's way too much, that's not workable. So I printed these on 160 grams paper, and I'm very happy with that weight. And then just cut out all the parts, so this part, that part, these two, and the envelope. So I cut all the parts out, and the part for the envelope I'm going to put away for a while. This as well. I'm going to start with the cover. The first thing I'm going to do is fortify this piece. Let me show you from here to here, from these corners, the bottom part. So the bottom part of this T shape. Because if this is not strong enough, the card might break instantly, and then it doesn't work anymore. So I have this really sturdy piece of 300 grams paper. You can use very heavy scrapbook paper or even light cardboard, like the cereal box type cardboard, and just glue that on. So I'm cut it, look like this, the same size of that bottom part. You don't have to do the top part, just the bottom. I'm going to use my tape. You won't see this part at all. So it doesn't matter what's on there or not on there, it's going to be completely hidden. That's why this is white. And then just line it up perfectly and glue it down. Like this. And then check, and if necessary, you can trim it a bit. Yeah, this is a bit too wide, so I'm definitely going to trim this. And make sure if you use tape that none of the tape is hanging out here, because it might make that the moving is not going to work. Now I'm going to score these 6 lines, so these two, and these two perfectly. This is a really fun craft to do and a really fun gift to give, this card, but it's necessary that we are perfect again. There. Last two. And then just fold all these scored lines crisp but gently, because these two are quite close to each other. These two, and then these two. And now I'm going to put tape or glue on the not printed side of this tab. So don't put it here, put it on here. Very important. Normally we put it on the printed side. Now we definitely want to put it on a non-printed side. Put the tape right next to the fold. Remove the cover. I'm gonna put a little bit of glue here in the corner because my tape wasn't square. And then we're going to glue this in here. The white part of the white insert. I'm going to put it right next to the fold. So this will be one long part. Line up as perfect as you can. Like this. There. So it'll look like this. So all the folds go inwards, see? And on the top of the design, so my birds face this way, this is the top of the design, I'm going to cut out a notch right here in the center. And I'm going to do that with a 1-inch circle punch. You can vary the size, obviously. But I want to find the center first. Center will be here. And then I just cut out a notch. Half circle here. And then, if you like, you can ink all the edges. Not super necessary here, just the sides I like to ink. That's quite important, because otherwise you will see the white of the paper. Also a bit in a notch here. You definitely don't have to ink this, this and this side because you won't see it at all. That's the secret part. But these sides you will see. There. Just very lightly. Or heavily if that's your thing. And then we will need some plastic. This is smooth, sturdy plastic. And you see it's an old piece. Don't go cutting up something new. There's plastic enough in the world. It just needs to be strong, but smooth. You see, it's moving and folding very well, and it needs to glide. This is a piece from a very old, I don't know what the name is in English. It's this folder with a border with holes in it, and you can put paper in it and put it in a ring binder. That's where it came from, and you see it's quite old. You won't see it. And to have another idea, some parts of IKEA furniture are wrapped in really sturdy, smooth plastic. That's perfect for that. Don't throw it away. Perfect for this. Okay, and now I'm going to cut a part that is a bit less high than the bottom part of this T-shape. So about this wide, and a bit longer than twice the width. So I'm gonna measure like this. Is this straight? Yes, this is straight. So I'm gonna cut here. And I'm gonna cut a piece that's hopefully straight. If it's not straight, you know what? It's not a bad thing. No one will ever know. Just try to be as straight as possible. Just not in the mood for measuring, which is not a good thing for you guys. But see, it's like crooked like crazy, but it's neatly a bit smaller everywhere than the bottom of the T-shape, and it is definitely twice as long. This is the weirdest part, so I'm gonna leave that out. And I'm gonna wrap this around this T-shape. So I'm going to take my tape, cut it straight for this. Let me turn it around, and then I'm gonna wrap it around here, and on the end, on the edge, or almost at the edge, I'm going to put some double-sided tape. There. Make sure it sticks. And I'm gonna place it around here. Yeah. Remove the backing. This is a bit more tricky because plastic doesn't behave like paper. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap this around firmly, but it still has to be able to move. So don't pull too hard. There, I'm gonna do it here. And does it still, yeah, it can move, you see? But it's pretty sturdy. I have like 1 millimeter left if I pull it flat. But don't worry, I can slide it off right now, but when the card is closed, that can't go anywhere. And I'm going to cut off the excess. So this is wrapped around here, and this has to move, but this thick part here where I put the tape and the 2 layers of plastic on top of each other, that won't move smoothly around the corner at all. It actually won't. So I'm gonna position this about here. So it only needs to slide this far, and that's okay. So gonna position it here. It's about 1/2 inch, 13 millimeter from the edge. And then I'm going to put another piece of tape over the place where I put that first piece. And that is to attach the card later. And I'm going to flip over this whole thing horizontally, like this. And I'm gonna put another piece of tape about the same width from the edge, also on the left side. So I'm not going to remove the backing yet. We have a piece of tape on the left here and on the left here as well. And now I'm going to make these cards. I have 2 cards here. These are pretty easy to make. First I'm going to score the center line here. The line is quite light. I made it look like how a scored line would look. And then fold them in half. And then we're going to glue them. So they're closed. And this way it makes it sturdier. I'm going to put some tape, or you can just only use glue, definitely, on 1/2 of each card. I'm gonna put some glue in the center as well. And then close it. Now, this might not be perfect because we are not perfect. So just easy, trim the pieces that don't match. Trim off all the white edges and turn over the card as well, because there might some white edges as well. See here? Just cut them off, it's all right. And then also, if you don't like these white sides, ink the edges. You don't have to ink this piece because you won't see it. So the sides where it says pull on the fold you will see, but the sides on the other end you won't see. So, and this card is ready, and I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. These 2 cards are ready, and you can definitely write a message on here, and then the person who receives this card will see the message coming out. And you see the words pull here, and make sure the word pull is the right side up, like I am holding now. And the one with the pull text on the top goes here, and the one with the pull text on the bottom, also turn it this way, it will go on the back. So I'm going to remove this tape, make sure this tape is on the left, and now line up this card, it's equally wide as the card, and place it in the center. Like this. Don't place it over that fold here. Place it right next to it. Okay, and glue. So we attach the card like this, pull on the right, and now we're going to flip the project over. And again, we're going to put the pull word on the right, but we're gonna flip it over like this, so that when we eventually will have the card, one pull will be on this side and one on that side. So I'm gonna show you again, just to be sure. Again, the word pull on the right, but flip over this time. Okay, I'm going to remove the backing and flip it over and align it with the other cards. Yeah, and make sure it sticks. And then we're going to wrap this up. Just wrap it all up, just first to test. To see if it works, to see if you attach the cards in the right way. So you hold it like this, and then you softly pull this pull card, and the other pull should come out like this. See, and if everything is okay, we can put our cards back and we can completely wrap this up. Just check if everything's working here. I have a feeling, yeah, I have a bit of a feeling this white thingy is getting a bit too wide. So I'm just going to cut off like 1 millimeter or so it would work better. Always check before you glue it shut, because when it's glued shut, it's done. You have to start over from scratch. Okay, let's check again. Yep, that will work a little bit better. Good. The only thing you need to do is glue this on that. That's all. So just put some glue on the last piece and close it. Glue, or like I do, double-sided tape. And neatly close. There. We have our card. Amazing. And now our magic card is ready. If you grab the card and just pull on the top part, bottom part will automatically come out as well. And you can write secret messages on these. And a beautiful card needs a beautiful envelope, and this will fit perfectly into this box envelope. And you see, this card's a little bit thicker, so the envelope will be a bit thicker as well. And the first thing to do is score these 8 lines. And to close the envelope, I still need to cut out this piece. See, I'm going to take a mat and a knife and a ruler. And you see this slot? Yeah, it is just not just a line, it's a little small box that makes it easier to put this into and to close it. And the ends you can just push out. At the close, we put the side flaps in first and then the bottom flap. And again, like with the envelopes for the envelope book, I'm going to make markings where my glue should go. Now, take care. These corners should be 90 degrees all over, and it's a bit tricky, so make sure they are definitely straight. I just put some pencil marks like right under the edge, like this. I'm gonna take a glue stick. This one is a regular glue stick. It will be wet longer, so I have a bit of time to make sure I'm closing these well. Now, just make sure all the corners are super straight. All the lines are 90 degrees. I don't like to use tape for this because it is so unforgiving if you're not sure where the paper goes. Okay, happy with that. And then this one. And then you can close it like this. There. And it will fit your card perfectly. Like this. Great. And also, if you like, you can glue this envelope. Then you won't see the pretty backside here, but you can glue this envelope in here, in the cover. So you can take the card out and there will be room enough left to put it here, or you can also put it in the back, obviously. So these are the projects that you can make with this kit. And with all these embellishments, you could truly make it your own and embellish it as you like. I really hope you liked this video. If you would like to craft this whole project yourself with these printables, you're very welcome to discover the Vintage Birds Mega Project Pack in our shop. The link is below. And now I wish you a very beautiful day. Bye bye.